Hey, Blitchfall. How's your day? Evening? Lunch? Afternoon? Going. Well, you're in the same time zone as I am. Oh no. Hi, Hazardous. Hi, Hazardous. Excuse me. Hello, Zach Taft. $148 gas in that geyser. Yeah, that is turbo not worth it. Got one zealot's like, I'm gonna gain glory for the Protoss. This drone will die for the Protoss. Wait, where'd it go? Well, I don't know what Mr. Krabs sounds like, but that sounds like a terrible idea immediately. Shigora. Got it. Well, they were genetically engineered to not, Cashel. But the Overmind is on an overwhelming quest to consume the Protoss and form the perfection of form and the perfection of essence, thus creating the ultimate life form. Everything in the way is just a stepping block to get to that point. Make sense? Cashel's response, no! Oh, well, okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were directly inspired by the Borg, too. I mean, actually, a lot of things are inspired by the Borg. No, seriously. You ever think about how old the Borg actually are? They go back quite a ways. Hi, Valerian. We'll be seeing you next game. Well, next game. Let's say the Borg go back to 88, I want to say. 1988. Who's the other Emperor Valerian? How many Emperor Valerians are there? Jeez Louise. Oh, right. Gotcha. The historical Valerian. Sense make. I'm not bad at this game. I don't say that as a brag. I'm not. But I will admit, I don't know, I think the fatigue is getting to me a little bit. And I know that sounds like an excuse, but I mean that with total sincerity. Because I've been having trouble keeping up with the discourse with you guys and also playing well. And StarCraft Vanilla and StarCraft Brood War are both kind of mean. So that's my fault. I'm the one who's not keeping up. There's no blame going on here. It's just I've been failing at my job. I need that and that. Like you notice the first thing I did when I came back was like, you know what? There's probably expansions right over here, and sure enough, here they were. Hey, King Venomui. Hope you're doing well today. I'm actually really good at RTS games when I focus fire on them, but then again, that's the same thing with platformers. If I just stare at a platformer and don't have anything else going on, I will crush that sucker. Yeah, the Brood War games, I might actually go silent during some of the Brood War missions, because they are mean. In a way that might actually be a story negative, or excuse me, a gameplay negative. They built the Brood War missions for people who were already StarCraft veterans. It's the exact same mistake they made in the Warcraft 2 expansion, Beyond the Dark Portal. For those of you who haven't played Beyond the Dark Portal, the very first mission of Beyond the Dark Portal is harder than the very last mission of Warcraft 2 Vanilla. No exaggeration. It's unforgiving. So, Hazardous says, isn't StarCraft focused more on macro? It's funny you say that. It was intended to be focused on macro, but it actually isn't. See, the combination of pathfinding and issues and control limits kind of automatically built into the game the very concept of micro. I was actually thinking about that. I don't think... Oh, yeah, also screen size. This is as far in as I could zoom out. Yeah. So the game really wants you to micro. I don't think the developers intended that. In fact, I'm almost positive they didn't intend that. I think it's a complete byproduct of the nature of the game. Pathfinding, control limits, screen size, even some difficulties with control groups. Basically, all of the control issues lent themselves naturally towards micro. In Warcraft 3, they decided to embrace that. Warcraft 3 is much more focused on micro than macro. It wasn't until Starcraft 2 that macro started to come back into the equation, and lo and behold, Starcraft 2 is the best RTS ever made, so make of that what you will. Okay, getting a bit of a war chest going again here. I want to make sure my geysers are fully stocked. I need 5 more of these. I should talk out some of my strategies. I find that that's better when I do that. Keep you guys on standby. Put you over here to make sure we have a solid flow. Put all 3 of you here to make sure we have a solid flow. Pull these back. Oh, absolutely, Loner. PvP, I said this before. It's no... I'm not trying to diss PvP. That is to say competitive multiplayer. But the attempts to merge PvP and PvE design have always made the game worse for both sides. That's a universal truth. It has always proven to be the better choice to just divorce the two and just have there be PvP over there and PvE over here. Okay, so this is a depleted mine. Why don't we just go ahead and send you doing anything else? Yep, apartheid works. You heard it from me. Wait. I shouldn't say that. Speaking of which, fascism, just to get that in there for YouTube. Alright, so let's get our second and possibly final group going. Man, how about, speaking of YouTube, how about that new anti-blocker, anti-ad blocker? I think I'm saying that right. Yeah. How about that new anti-ad blocker? Or their ad blocker, if you prefer. A little bit of nonsense. A friend of mine has the theory that what they're actually specifically trying to do is just torpedo the system. They're just trying to shut YouTube down. And I would not be surprised if there are individuals at Alphabet who would love it if YouTube just got shut down. Because they don't want YouTube... They don't want anyone else to have YouTube. And they don't want to deal with the expense and maintenance anymore. And the hassles and the hardships. So they just want the platform to go away. And, well, self-sabotage is a thing. Alright, so let's see if we can claim a yellow base. We don't have to. But I really want to, and we've already taken a bite out of it. So let's take a save. We'll do this under 3. Let's see how we do. Let's kill this one zealot. Let's kill this one reaver. Kill this one dragoon. Oh, there they come. Yeah, I knew you were coming. Let's push our way through these dragoons. Oh, they're being smart. Unintentionally. I'm pretty sure that's actually the dragoons being bad pathfinding. That's what that actually is. Okay. It's funny you say that. The ad blocker I use has already released a fix for it, but it turns out, and I know this thanks to them, YouTube is releasing literal daily updates to their sort filter, which is as in the anti-ad blocker. And those daily releases are making it really hard to keep up. And we have officially woken up yellow. So interesting thing about this map, which I forgot about until a minute ago. 6 and 1. The thing that I can't think of the name of. Are you... Okay, that's a weird thing to do, but whatever. There's 3 enemy AIs on this map. But rather than have you fight all 3 at once, which honestly would be bonkers, as you activate them, they activate. Listen, I can't word right now, okay? So you don't have to deal with yellow until you've really poked that bear, and you don't have to deal with orange until you've gone sufficiently far south and activated the actual event of the game, the objective that we have. You know, that's a good question, Blitchwell. I'm not actually sure what triggered this latest attempt to crack down on the ad blocking. My friend has already given his theory. This is just the latest attempt to sabotage the platform. And honestly, that makes a weird amount of sense to me. They really like their dragoons, don't they? We're going to micro a little bit here. Try and focus fire. We need to get ahead of the curve. We're falling behind a little bit, but only a little bit. We can replace this as long as he doesn't storm me in a second. I'm fine. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, back off, back off, back off. Oh! That Archon. Oh, that freaking Archon. Oh, wow. Okay, so we can replace part of the force we just lost. Hello, Melikor. Ushka. Okay. Just gonna chill here for a minute. Yes, Archon is AoE. And it shows. Could be hazardous. Alphabet has released numbers that say only about 20% ad block. But I can't help but wonder, A, if that figure is actually true. And B, if that 20% is no longer acceptable. Alphabet owns Google, owns YouTube, Blacheville. Alphabet is the parent company. They are the evil ones, to put that as bluntly as I possibly can. 3, 6, 8. So, the idea here being, You know how companies are more interested in growth than they are in making money? They're probably looking at that 20%, and they're running into the barrier of growth, like, which is what happens because of math and life and physics and frickin' entropy. So, you know, reality is getting in the way, and they're like, oh my god, we need more growth, and I bet you money that the thinking is that's their next target. They probably have multiple things they've decided they can go after to monetize to try and keep the appearance of growth going. And I bet you that trying to enforce anti-ad blocking is just the next step. It is a disturbingly common trend that companies will spend more money than they would make in order to try and push specific things through. Anti-piracy stuff is a fantastic example of something that demonstrably and provably costs more money than they save in the anti-piracy. What are you doing with these dragoons? Oh my god, Doralis! Why did you tell them to send dragoons? Oh jeez, okay, we got a micro, we got a micro for a second. The Archon's not here, so we actually might be able to pull this. Just get that carrier out of here. Oh god, get out of here, carrier. Get out of my house. Ugh. Okay, back off, back off. Man, yellow is just being a pain, aren't they? Look at these friggin' dragoons. Okay, let's back off. Okay, thank you to Doralis. Thank you, Doralis. No, the problem is we probably will never know in truth, Blade Traval, but I would love to know that too. Do I think anti-piracy succeeded? I forget the name of it, but a study was done, actually more than one study, I think 3 total studies have been done in Europe over the past 2 decades, studying the effectiveness of anti-piracy. Can you guess what they found? Yeah, who the hell is yellow? Because that tribe is just rocking it. ESO, Guild Wars 1, and the Age of Empires block. Thank you very much, Doralis. The Valari? I don't even recognize that. Yeah, no, it didn't work. Demonstrably and provably. Anti-piracy stuff made things worse. Weird how that works out. And to be clear when I say that, I mean that there are studies, plural, done that proved that they lost money on anti-piracy stuff. Please think about the consequences in reality of what that means. I guess so, Loner. Because yeah, I don't recognize these people. I guess we're about to wipe them out. Long live the swarm and all that. Another carrier. Another carrier. Oh man, that. Oh my god! Okay, 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 okay. Okay. Oh, good. We provoked them. Oh, that's fantastic. No, really, I'm actually happy about that. God, I wish I could multi-group buildings. Oh, I wish this was Starcraft 1. Sorry. Yep, no, I see you coming. We'll fight you where we're strong. You know, I don't actually remember in StarCraft Vanilla. Hey, Lunaroof. Sorry, I meant StarCraft 2? Is what I was actually trying to say. Listen, talking's hard. You gotta form words and get thoughts going. Do you know how hard that is to do? Pepperidge Farm knows. Me stupid. Yeah, so sometimes they'll spawn units, and sometimes they have their own thing going on. Oh my god, that Archon. It's okay, their Dragoons are gone, so we're going to try to push that Archon down, like, right now. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, run. Run, run, run. Run, run, run. Now, chill for a minute. I need 3 more. 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7. Hey, Terra. Okay, here we go, here we go. Looks like we're getting a little too strung out. No, we might be able to do some damage before we get in here. Just try to deal with some of these frickin' Dragoons. There are so many Dragoons in this nonsense. And a new carrier. They just... Oh my god, this friggin' yellow. Alright. Friggin' yellow. We provoked him again? No, we didn't. Oh, we kind of did. Who are you? What are you doing? Oh god, oh god, oh god. Oh god, no, stop, 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 stop. Run, run. Yeah, we accomplished nothing with that wave. I will freely admit that. Just literally nothing. Yeah, I would never use a Death Note. Ignoring the obvious consequences to me of using a Death Note, a Death Note can only ever remove from the world. It cannot add to it. I should be like right around here. Where are you? Where are you? I just saw you. Where'd you go? No, I haven't watched Simpsons in like 30 years at this point. Something like that. Whoops. Oh, okay, whatever. Congrats, Lunerith. You're almost out of the crap part. Whoop, hello. The Dragoons decided to do something weird. That's okay. Zerglings will chew those up. Like I said, even if you ignore the obvious moral quandary of murdering someone and getting away with it, then, yeah, there's the you're permanently erased because someone is eating your soul to exist as sustenance angle of things. This is part of my frustration. There's so many tactics I essentially can't do because controlling is just so frustrating in Starcraft 1. I can think of several things to do about this situation, but I'm kind of limited. Do the job stories get better past 50? Yes and no. Would be my answer to you. Some of them do, some of them don't. Okay, so there's a small wave of Zoig. Ready to Zoig it up. Let's get them down there in position. It's something that isn't a giant line. Start chewing through these frickin' Dragoons. Get that Reaver gone. Okay, so we did kill several Dragoons, but not nearly enough. Another wave. Let's see if we can get more specific with this. Let's put them right here. Actually, no, there's one more Zerg mission after this, which is much easier than this one. I could be mistaken, but several people I know consider this to be the hardest Zerg mission. And with good reason. We're fighting 3 extremely well-entrenched Protoss opponents who have the AI cranked to max and have triggers that support them. We haven't even actually advanced to the midway point of the mission yet. When we do that, they will get much meaner than they have been. All they've been doing right now is holding off me as I've been trying to push at them and poke at them and take their delicious resources. Where's... Oh, God damn it. Get down here. 3 Reavers now. That's okay, though. I'm okay with 3 Reavers. You know why? Because I have mutas. Knock that thing over. And run. Okay, so this whole time, we've had a sufficient enough distraction to do what I really want to do. I forget which one I didn't do, so we're just going to do all 4 just to make sure. Believe it or not, I have been building towards an actual plan here. I know it doesn't look like I have been. You know, I've got resources, and I've been building very much on purpose. I'm tempted to go hog on Zerglings, which I could actually afford to do right now, but it's such a colossal waste of time, and you have to do it individually because there's no selecting buildings by group. I need 5 more. You know what? Nah. Changed my mind. Well, nah. Screw it. Screw it. Let's just be stupid. Dare to be stupid. Dare to be oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, this defensive line... We'll probably use this defensive line later. Because I mentioned a midpoint of the mission. At a certain point, the enemy just starts to pressure hard. I'm hoping that knocking out so many of their bases will help with that. I'm not sure how much of that is scripted and how much of that is the AI just getting cranked to turbo-aggressive mode. We'll find out. Okay, that's doing that. I need you to do this really quick. They look like alien tumors. I mean... think about it. Our Vespene is really starting to get a little low. Oh, our Vespene is out. So this is basically it. If we go for this. Every class gets better after 50, Lunarith. 100% of them. Yeah, the problem is Guardians are gas heavy and I don't have the source of gas. So, here's what we're gonna do. I've still got some minerals coming in, so that's good. Not as many as I'd like. I always speak in terms of gameplay. You should know that, Linurith. Guardians are our flying artillery. Fuck. Games aren't allowed to have stories. Don't be silly. We're already taking losses, but we have brought a substantially larger force here. I also distracted them. The distraction didn't last nearly as long as it needed to. That's okay, maybe. Find out in a minute. I think we hit the tipping point. I think we have actually pushed through their defensive line. Jesus. Okay, so let's focus fire a little bit. Let's get rid of their robotics facility. And let's get rid of their goddamn gateways. Here comes our first Zerg wave. Let's go and get our second Zerg wave going. I have to be a little careful here. I do not want to trigger orange. Okay, good news. That geyser actually has some freaking gas in it. That is great news. That is exactly what I needed to hear. Let's grab one of these. Yeah, the geyser out of a job right now. Get down here. Get down here. Oh yeah, so they've started bringing out the arbiters. So that's cool. We'll deal with that in a minute. Yep, AoE stun. Now, unlike the lockdown, this doesn't allow them to keep taking damage, but it also can affect anything, not just mechanical units. So that's cool. And yeah, it is an AoE, a nice big AoE. So, yeah, by the way, spoilers, there's actually another yellow base. God, that cost us a lot. But we took the base, which is the important part. So now we can think about actually doing something other than just sitting here. I kind of have, Terra. There's only one unit we haven't really talked about yet. That's the Defiler. But the Defiler is the same problem every caster does. It's overpowered and underpowered pretty much at the exact same time. I would say that by my own judgment, and please jump in on this, that, oh wow, we're just sweeping yellow. I guess we took out their defenders. I'm okay with that. I would say that by my judgment, I would think Hydralisks and honestly, Mutalisks are in qualifying for... oh, and Guardians, excuse me, are in qualifying for, you know, good unit design. Ultralisks aren't that great. Zerglings have issues related to them. Scouts can go to hell. Sorry, wrong faction. Wrong faction, sorry. I'm sorry, give me one moment. I'll circle back to that in just a sec. I want to make sure that we finish sweeping here. Because we still got orange to deal with. I think you're right, Tara. Which is, honestly, once again, emphasizing how brutal this mission can be. They actually designed a proper 2-base prong, and because of how extremely good the AI is at shuttling, they could just swap whatever they needed between the 2 bases at will. God, that's bonkers. Where? Yeah, there. Really? You're gonna have to argue that one, Tara, but I'm listening. Hit me, as they say. Oh, looks like orange is activated. And orange actually has Thunderbolts. Cool. You notice yellow didn't. Great. There was one unit that was in running for a... Oh, jeez! For a negative, which I can't remember right now. Go, 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 go. Go quicker. Damn it, yeah, orange is officially activated. Oh, crap. Yeah, they've got Arbiters, they've got Templar, they got the whole 9 yards. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. I just finally started doing better, and then orange is like, hey, we're here. And I'm still, like, I'm not resource starved, but I'm kind of leaning towards starved. I'm getting there, you know? Okay, there's only 500 Geyser or Vespian on it. And they're just running through my bases. Unopposed, because they've just got zealots all over the place. I have not saved recently. Let's grab a new save up here. I should hydrate. Thank you for reminding me, Loke. Give me a second, Tara. I swear to God. If orange hadn't activated, I was about to be like, alright, let's talk about unit design. But now I'm kind of in a hurry. Because I know orange is mean. As you just saw. Fully maxed out, fully teched out Protoss with 2 colossal bases down there. And I have 1 Geyser. And there's really no other geysers coming. Like, I could probably try to push into orange to claim new resources. But... scouts. Oh my god, you goddamned arbiter. Get back here. Get back here. Now I gotta redo my control groups again. Did I give a negative for that crap yet? Alright, I'll think about it, Tara. Yep. Well, I was going to think about it, but then Orange decided to be a prick. Hang on, BRB. Now I've got a choice. I could try... So, you know what? Let's just gamble. So, because I have a choice now. I could try to go on the offensive and sweep Orange to finish the mission. Or I could go on the defensive and just finish the mission. Let's go on the defensive. That is the gamble choice here, because this could go very badly. Let's see what happens, shall we? We just saved. Worst comes to worst, whatever. Let's rebuild our control groups. Well, shoot. Hang on. It's take two. Yeah, this is why we have the sound off. Generally. Okay.
Evolution complete.
Evolution complete, as it should be.
Evolution complete.
Yeah, before we trigger this. Okay.
The crystal is being harvested.
Now we have to hold the line for 10 minutes. The enemy has just been cranked up to turbo death mode. We don't actually have to defend that spot. They're fine. We just have to live for 10 minutes. Even though we control half the map, they control a much stronger portion of the map. No. Good news is it looks like they're focusing on our main base, which we actually have defenses at. Bad news is Reavers. So we're just gonna chill for 8 minutes. So, while we're sitting here... Oh, Jesus Christ! Move, move, move! And there goes my whole fleet. I mean, it's not the whole fleet, but that was a large chunk of my troops right there. It's like half of them. We can't even afford to rebuild that many. What is it, Magister? I don't think I've even heard of that.
Forces are under attack.
I knew they were coming. I mean, I was right. It's not very good unless you're super clustered. In which case it absolutely destroys.
Evolution complete.
5 minutes to go. Halfway there. Okay. No, Lunaris, why would they do that? There's sound, and then there's music. As God intended. Oh, carriers are fantastic against anything other than a human player. I'm serious. Yeah, they are fantastic for single player and enemy AI stuff. I'll explain why when we get to the Protoss. They are... I don't want to say they're easy to counter, but everybody knows their counter.
Our forces are...
You could probably guess their counter right now without knowing anything about them. Actually, this is not a remake. This is a remaster. And that's why this is a remaster. It's why I tend to be so pedantic about terminology when it comes to that sort of thing. A remake would actually fix this kind of stuff. A remaster is a new shine of polish. Bit of fancy graphics, a little slabbered on top. Did you just... See around hazardous.
Our forces are under attack.
But yeah, the way you counter a carrier is you take out the carrier. The moment the carrier dies, is the moment at which the carrier has ceased to be useful and functional. Like I said, even without knowing this game, you can tell me how to counter a carrier. And that is the problem with the carrier. Oh, nice. I'm glad he graduated. Yeah, the AI... So, I talked about priority earlier. I talked about it with regards to money. But in these games, it also has to do with what the enemy will auto-target. Now, you can bypass priority targeting by just micromanaging, which is something I've actually been doing a lot of this entire campaign. Especially with the Mutalisks, because you really want to focus fire with the Mutalisks. But, if you just A-move and let the AI select its own priority, they'll select whatever. Interceptors almost always have higher priority than most other units. Up to and including the carriers themselves. So the turrets and the anti-air and the fighters will all be running around trying to kill your interceptors. And then they'll die because the carrier's just sitting back there, you know, doing its thing. This was a brutal mission. Like I said, hardest Zerg mission right here. I think you're right. I think yellow was where the majority of that pressure was supposed to come from. Good thing we wiped yellow off the map. Although that did take us a while.
The Katerin crystals are in our possession. Now, all shall tremble before the might of the Swarm.
How long did that take us? Almost an hour. Yeah, that tracks. We lost 570 units on that nonsense.
You have done well, my Cerebrate. The Protoss can do nothing but flee before the onslaught of the Swarm. But now you must assault one final site before our conquest is assured. Behold, there is a temple not far from here that lies upon ground most hallowed. Though I have borne witness to the passing of countless millennia, the temple which you must assault is older by far. For it was constructed by my creators, the Xel'Naga, and it marks the site where the Xel'Naga first set foot upon Aiur. The temple must be cleared, and the Katerin crystal set in its place. Only then shall the way be made ready, for it is upon that ground alone that I may be manifest.
Actually, they do, but only once, Taquita. They obviously talk about Aiur several times, but then when we finally get here, that's when he finally talks about trying to merge essence and form into creating the perfect life form. We don't know anything about the Xel'Naga at this point, just that, you know, that's what the Overmind is after. Like Hephaestus there. Hephaestus wants to have the perfect form, and the perfect... sorry, thank you very much for the bits. I do always appreciate. And if you'd like to put that towards up to 3 things, please let me know. Either way, I appreciate the support. Thank you. I'm not disagreeing with you, Linearus. You won't hear me defending it. In fact, I've already given it a negative. So, the RTS block. You know what? That's a good pick. And maybe the Age of Empires block, which is a separate block. Okay, so this is a fun mission. We're going to try a specific strategy first, see how that works out. So let's get some resources going. Yeah, you know what, we're going to try, finally, and then we'll do the wrap-up of the Zerg units that I was robbed of, because the last mission kept punching me in the jaw. With a proper defiler setup, you can smash through this mission in like 10 minutes, by the way. There it is. Yep, nope, that's what I wanted. Get some rest, Lunaruth, please. Okay. Just gonna ignore that. Just gonna ignore that. Notice it's yellow again, by the way, Loner. Let's go ahead and pull back. Let's pull back. We know the corridor. We know where we're going. I mean, that would be awesome, Terra. I keep forgetting that's even a thing. Because, you know, I hear a lot about it. I'm just saying, final stand and all that. AOM is getting another remaster. Reggie. Bit of a difference.
Our forces are under attack.
And honestly, if there's a game that needs a remaster, Age of Mythologies kind of sits at that. Age of Mythology, I was just talking about this earlier. Age of Mythologies is a very experimental game, and it shows. Love the crap out of it, but man. Not sure how well it would review the original. I also admit it was the first game that really introduced me to the concept of like in-universe crossover fic actually working, for lack of a better way to put that. In narratively speaking, the way that they blended Norse, Egyptian, and Greek mythologies was really good. And made a weirdly large amount of sense. Yep, that's why we pulled back. Don't worry, I'm not going to muta this map. Could, but I won't. Yeah, a Smite. I actually played Smite. And in-universe crossover effect.
Require more minerals.
Yeah, it was okay. That could be interesting. And 3 Hydralisks kill 2 scouts. Nope. That's okay. That's why we got the spore. Yeah. I mean, I could level complaints at Age of Mythology. The level design is absolutely all over the place, both in terms of quality and in terms of difficulty. Age of Mythology can kick you in the teeth. And it can also be, like, fall asleep boring. It's all over the place, right? Right, so, unit design. So let's really look at these. The drone is whatever. None of the workers really do anything in Starcraft 1, so that's a complete wash. Zerglings could work if only they had better controls and better mechanics and didn't quite have the same pathfinding issues. So Zerglings are kind of like Dragoons, and honestly Goliaths, in that they are a victim of the game in which they are in. Even then, I probably wouldn't give them more than a single positive, so we're just going to call that a wash. Overlords, I think I'm going to go with 1 positive to Overlords. I do like what your point, Tara, but I think I'm just going to pull back a little bit on that one. Hydralisks, easy positive. Hydralisks are great. Mutalisks, like it or not, I do think Mutalisks are actually good. I think they're a well-designed unit. They are fast, they are mobile, they have a bouncing attack, they don't do too much damage, and they're not too expensive. They're also only halfway up the tech tree, which is appropriate for their relative cost and utility. The reason we mash mutas is really more because of the nature of the game than the fact that mutas are super awesome, because if this was StarCraft 2 with its pathfinding and controls and other quality of life features, plenty of other compositions would be much more feasible. So, still, mutas are good. So, Overlords are good, Hydras are good, mutas are good. Scourge, I don't think Scourge are bad, but I can't bring myself to give the Scourge a positive. Like, I understand what that sentence sounds like. The Scourge are kind of an emergency oh crap button. And they work for that. But yeah, they're hard to target, they're hard to control, they're hard to plan for. They eat up resources in a way that, like, I don't know, I feel like with a few tweaks, Scourge could be a lot more useful. Even something as really basic and banal as making Scourge burrowable, for example. Similar to Banelings, I think could actually help those work out a lot better. Hang on, I'm falling behind a little bit. I'm gonna do this really quick. Yeah, no, absolutely, Tara. Absolutely. So I don't think I'm going to go in for the school age. Over there. Queens. Queens are casters. Defilers are casters. I mean, every caster has the exact same general issue. So I cannot, in good conscience, give any caster in this game a positive, at least until we get to Brood War. We'll reanalyze that discussion there. And yes, I realize I didn't properly show off Defilers. I swear I'll do that at some point. Yeah, like Warcraft 3, I think, added this feature, which is a great quality of life feature, which boiled down to the ability to cast when you don't have a unit specifically selected. So, like, for example, if I had a mixed unit group, control group, which includes a queen and a defiler, I could just tab between the two and use both abilities without having to switch control groups. Very nice quality of life feature, which really helped controlling casters in general. Casters kind of suck to control in this game, to be very, very blunt. Whoops, nope, I need this. Yeah, then there's autocast, which is a whole other ball of quality of life, which they added. Hi, Mihawk.
Our forces are under attack.
Well, that's a problem. Oh my god, I may have just lost. Okay. Sure. I can work with that. Sure, why not? Drag him down south. Come on, switch. There we go. Okay. We're just gonna have the Ultralisks sit here and tank for a minute. Do what Ultralisks do best. Just keep tanking. They're ignoring the Ultralisk. Oh, here we go. Perfect. We're in range of the other spore colonies. Getting some recovery going. I'm going to want you to go get that going right now. That going. Please target the carrier. You can target the drones. You target the freaking carrier, please. Another one going. I need you two to move over here. Oh yeah, being able to build while having a control group up. There's another quality of life feature for you. Okay. The Ultralisk lived through all that nonsense. And one Zergling. Woo! Yeah, being able to build over a friendly unit. That's another quality of life feature that Starcraft, that one of the future games added. Anyways. And that just leaves the Ultralisk to consider. So far we've got a positive for Overlord, Hydra, and Muta. There is also the Guardian to consider. And, like I said, the Ultralisk. I can't give the Ultralisk a positive. He is so far down the tech tree, so expensive, and is absolutely not worth the resources or the time invested to get him. I cannot see the Ultralisk as being well-designed. He either needs to be better, cheaper, or sooner, or some combination thereof. Okay, so, now that that's all done... Let's start grabbing these upgrades here. Yeah, one of the Command & Conquers... Yeah, no kidding, Oculus. One of the Command & Conquers, I forget which one, has a super tank in it that sucks. Does anyone remember which one that is? Does that ring a bell to anybody? Because in some of the Command & Conquers, the super tanks are awesome, but there's this one where it sucks, and I cannot remember which one it is. They're all like, they all blur in my brains. Shuttles, am I right? Maybe it's the Marv? It's been a while. Because there's the Apocalypse tank, and then there's the Apocalypse tank, and then there's the Apocalypse tank. All three of those are from different games, by the way. Then there's the, like the giant walker in Command & Conquer 2.
Evolution complete.
Happy Thursday, TSB. Hope you're doing well today. So we want pretty much all the upgrades here. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Okay, we got the Reaver. We got the Reaver. This Zergling and this Ultralisk. We need to write a story about this Zergling and this Ultralisk. Oh, my God. Yeah, I think the Mammoth was one of the ones I was thinking of, which is just blurred. But it was something else I was thinking of. It doesn't actually matter. The point is, it's not exactly uncommon for units that are supposed to be strong being too nerfed to actually accomplish what their intended purpose is. Like, I've seen that in plenty of RTS games. I'm sure you could think of examples right off the top of your head. You thought about it right now. Oop. Yeah, these two are the true main characters right there. Oh yeah, Chrono Troopers. Good example. Now, I don't plan to go air, but we should get a Spire going just in case. Just in case we need that. We're a little crammed here because of unbuildable terrain. Is that already... It's not.
Evolution complete.
I'm not sure, honestly, Blade Travel. I'm not used to doing anything other than diving for the temple in this mission. To be completely honest with you. Like I said, this mission's actually notably easier than the previous one, because you really can just take this corridor up here, push through a small outpost. This isn't even a fully defended outpost. One other corridor of troops here, which is not super strong, and then there's the temple, and all you have to do is knock over the temple and then take the drone up, and you win. So, yay. We're gonna lean into this. We'll have some fun with this. Notice how far up the tech tree I have to go to even access the unit I plan to make my troops out of. And I have a gargantuan bank, and trust me, I'm going to use all of it. Speaking of which. Let's get the food pop we're going to need going here. So what is that? What's 9 times 8? I actually can't do that in my head.
Evolution complete.
72, thank you. The biggest problem we're going to have with the Ultra Army is first of all, they're going to have no anti-air at all. That's problematic. But second of all, we only have one geyser. So before we get an Ultralisk army, we're going to get a Hydralisk army. Which... I say army. Squad is more accurate. I can't believe these two are still alive. He's even healed over half health back since then, and their heal is not exactly fast.
Evolution complete.
So we know they're attacking from the west side pretty consistently. That's not what I was expecting him to do.
Evolution complete.
Okay.
Evolution complete.
Wow. No kidding, Playtable. We must learn from the Zergling. Okay, so we're just gonna chill for about 500 more gas. Just gonna chill for a minute.
Evolution complete.
Just gonna chill. Everything's cool. Was there any unit I was thinking about giving a negative to? Honestly, the Ultralisk. Really, the Ultralisk is too expensive, too late, not good enough, and extremely pigeonholed in its usefulness. As I mentioned earlier, the primary usefulness of the Ultralisk is to be a tank. And even at that particular task, there are better options. I don't know, what do y'all think? Does the Ultralisk qualify in the same category as the Firebat? It's not like we have to give a negative. Yeah, I feel like with tweaks, the Ultralisk could easily be a good unit. And with some redesign, the Ultralisk can be a great unit. But... yeah, that's another thing. In case you missed that, Ultralisks are bonkers expensive. 200 minerals, 200 gas, and 4 food. They are mean. Now, they do get an upgrade in Brood War, which we'll talk about when we get there. Guardians? Oh yeah, we need to talk about Guardians, too. I think Guardians are well designed, overall. They are rather expensive and a little bit hyper-specialized, but they do exactly what they're supposed to do. They are artillery. They're good artillery, and properly supported, they can do exactly what they want to. And they bypass most of the pathfinding, targeting, issues. So, I think I'm in agreement with the crowd here. So let's go with... So what do we feel about general design, just for the Zerg as a whole? Buildings, creep, using the larva. How do you think it compares and contrasts to Terrans, and how good or bad do you think it is? 15 negatives. Sold to the man in red. Okay, we should have enough now. I do love how the Zerg seemingly play the same, but really don't. I really do. That's the same carrier from earlier. It says Gantrathor on the side. Weird. No, lurkers do not exist in vanilla. That won't be a thing until Brood War. So, speaking of ultras... you can already see the biggest problem with ultras. It's that they're big. We've already got them reasonably well upgraded. They've got okay armor. They do get +3 damage per upgrade, so that's nice. They do look cool. Viscerality is something we consider. I really feel they need more armor or more regen, or, I don't know, maybe like a self-res would be nice. Oh my god. So this is a perfect example of how Ultralisks suck right there. 3 zealots were able to just hold the entire army at the ramp. I know, that's more of a pathfinding issue, but still, come on. Get up there. Get up there. Get up there.
Our forces are under attack.
Who's Teal? We keep knocking over Teal. I think I agree with you, Terra. For pretty much the exact same reasons the Terrans got it. Good, generalized design. I know that sounds, like, insulting, but I don't mean it as such. Oh, right.
Forces are under attack. The hive cluster is under attack.
Ooh, I like that, Loke. Like a pseudo, now we're getting attacked from the east. A pseudo-phoenix kind of an approach. I like it. Meanwhile, some of my units are still stuck on this frickin' plateau. Pathfinding is for nerds. Yeah, no, their movement is clunky and weird and not great. Would you guys fight back, please?
Our forces are under attack.
Let's just hold you back. Yeah, Brood War is probably when we'll start to see some negatives to story. We'll see how that goes. I mean, we all knew the Ultralisk army wasn't really going to do that well. It's an Ultralisk army. Oh, God damn it. Well, whatever. They died as they lived. Completely useless. Just like me. Alright, so. No, no, no. Back off. Ultralisks have 400 HP, which really should be more than that. Because you probably think, oh, wow, that's a lot. No. No, you probably didn't see it earlier, but when I was charging up against that initial line, right down here, a single Zealot came out and chopped off, I'd say, about a fifth of one of the Ultralisk's health before they killed it. That's way too low, right? That's why I say they either need more armor or more regen, or like Loke's idea with the Phoenix Resurrection thing. Because, come on. Oh yeah, or even just straight up more health. Something. Boyky. I mean, yeah, but you get my point, Orico. If a 100 mineral unit that you get at the very beginning of a tech tree can do that kind of damage to something that's at the end of the tech tree for 200 minerals and 200 gas, I don't think Ultralisks are well designed. That's all. That's my only point. I'm not arguing if they're useful. I'm not arguing if there's strategies that can or can't use them. All I'm saying is that I honestly think Ultralisks are not well designed. That's it. Yeah, Marines versus Battlecruiser. Yeah, pretty much. God, we are just Vespine starved, aren't we? Let's get this going. Lunch? What did I have for lunch? Did I eat lunch? I feel like I ate lunch. Did he eat lunch? Find out more today. I think I ate food. I might have eaten life. I mean, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I think Starcraft 2 did pretty much all the units right. Especially since, on the Zerg side, they had branching paths. No, 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 no. Vampires eat blood. How did I know? Did you see that? I was like, you know what? I'm going to turn these into spore colonies, because I know what's coming. I knew. I knew. Jackasses. Anyways, no, a lich, that eats life. It's the gamer instinct. All right, so let's wrap this up. Hang on, let's actually, before we do that, let's send the Hydras up north, leave no defenses back behind. This cannot possibly cause me any issues down the line. This is a winning strategy. Ask again when we get there, Blade Triple. I don't mean to sound dismissive, 1, 2, 3. It's just... It's not like they made them have more health. No, it's more like they changed absolutely everything about them twice. Or, I guess, 3 times. Excuse me. No, it's twice. I'm right. It's twice. It's twice. So for those of you not aware, all the units in StarCraft 2, in the Zerg units, excuse me, have 2 upgrade paths you can go down. Some of them are better than others, but they can rather demonstrably change your strategy depending on which upgrade paths you decide to go down. They also give you a chance to try out those upgrades before they force you to choose. So, you know, that's cool too. Okay, so I'm gonna go this way.
Evolution complete.
Oh yeah, and also better pathfinding and better controls and blah blah blah. No, they do not, Ghost Rider. Starcraft 1 Ultras just attack a single target with melee. And that is it. These are the new graphics. I cannot believe anybody's asking me that question. Here, let me make this really, really clear. Whoops. Because the old graphics look like this. Sorry, Eternus. I had to. Let me be very clear. I will pretty much never turn on the original graphics except to demonstrate that they're the new graphics. Like, I'm not going to sit around and play on the old graphics. If I wanted to do that, I'd load the fan patch of the original. Of course it is. By one zealot. Okay. I do not actually have the Carbot skin.
Our forces are under attack.
Oh yeah, Ultralisks can burrow in StarCraft 2. I only mention that because I have tried several times to burrow them. And then realized, oh, right, I can't do that. Yes, final Zerg mission. In lore, the idea of an Ultralisk burrowing is bonkers. And these things are the size of buildings. Pull back, pull back. There, temple's gone.
Seraphit, the Protoss have launched a final offensive to keep us from the ruins. You must hold them at bay for a while longer.
Our forces are under attack.
Do I have to? It's Jesus, game. Warn a guy before you steal his camera like that. Sarge, when do we get a quarter-mile wide dirt pile? Don't worry about it, don't worry about it. What, Crazy Norris?
Our forces are under attack.
I shouldn't joke about that. You know, I could probably talk in a completely normal tone of voice underneath all this nonsense, not actually trying to project my voice. And I bet you cannot understand me right now. I bet you money you're just having trouble hearing me right now because of, you know, how this works. Almost there.
Our forces are under attack.
Not Zero, if you got a story negative, I'm listening. I'm always listening. Always. And yes, I know where you hid the bodies.
Our forces are under attack.
Mission complete.
Set into motion so long ago be made complete. For the Protoss too were created by the Xel'Naga. They were the first creation, gifted with a purity of form, and we were the second creation, blessed with a purity of essence. Indeed, our two species are but opposite facets of a greater whole. Soon shall our two races be made as one. Henceforth shall all feel the wrath of the eternal swarm, for the hour of judgment is come.
3 seconds. Heard of Titanfall. This is Overmindfall. It is actually both, Eternus. Starcraft 2 will give us a much better visual of what the thing actually looks like, the Overmind, physically. Because this is a game from 1998, so there's only so much I can do with that. Anywho. 10 years. Wow, that's bonkers. I got a worse one. I've been doing this job for like 13 years. Longest job I've ever had at this point. Do I think the cutscenes are good in this game? They vary, I think. Some of them lean towards, frankly, the Diablo 1 style of cutscene, which I just don't care for. You know, the dream sequence stuff, the nightmare stuff, which we've already talked about. But some of the cutscenes are really good. Mengsk's coronation at the end of the Terran campaign is legit. And I also do legitimately enjoy the one on the Amerigo. The Amerigo one. I think both of them are really good, all things considered. And yeah, I love you, Sarge. So yeah, even, you know how this works. We don't give them credit for being bonkers good for the time. We give them credit for how good they are now. Several of them are still good now, and they're only going to get better in Brood War. Blizzard's cinematic team has pretty much always been on at the top, right? No, it didn't play. Hang on a second. No, Crazy Norse. Ah, there it is. I apologize, I honestly spaced.
I can't see a thing, Jim. Well, hold on. I swear, it's always some damn thing. Wait, got it. Ah, hell, this thing ain't gonna hold. Shut up. Damn, you're ugly. You girl, strapped in nice and tight now. Tighter than your mama there. That's a good one, man.
Scavengers, if it's not obvious. Or salvagers, if you prefer the more legitimate term.
What you got for me out there, Joey Ray?
We got Terra for sure. I don't know about the rest. We got a big old buttload of floating debris out here.
getting pay dirt this time for sure. Explain to me, how are we gonna get all this home? I'm detached and moving toward the derelict spacecraft.
Damn it, Jim. Video's out again.
Well, quit picking at it.
I ain't picking at it, damn it. I'm out here with a hitch in my kitty up in here and there, slapping your jacks. I don't see a rato siempre vamos a ir dejándome metido en el espacio sin hacer nada. ¿Me está oyendo? Hey, you listening to me? Hold on, I got visual. Get the damn boat, you son of a fuck! I'm behind the ship! I'm behind you, Jim!
What I like about that is, while it literally has nothing to do with anything, it's a very good thematic intro. Scavengers who are salvagers, just out pulling out debris, coarse, crude, you know, the equipment is barely functioning, just kind of doing what they can to survive. Very beat up, run down kind of a vibe, very Terran. And then this giant-ass ship of death they can't even see the totality of because it's too big for them to spot, despite being in their freighter, just shows up and instantly vaporizes them. Yeah. It's okay, Joey Ray, he's fine. That being said, that intro's got nothing on the Brood Wars one, but we'll get there. Probably tomorrow. Definitely tomorrow. There's no way I'm beating Protoss tonight. The Zerg Overmind has succeeded in invading the Protoss homeworld of Ire and has embedded itself into the crust of the planet. Now, as agents of the sinister Overmind spread chaos and destruction across the face of Ire, the stalwart Protoss defenders prepare themselves for the coming onslaught. And listen to the music. I already talked about this earlier. Terrans are dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Zerg is blah. And this is Protoss.
Entaro Adun, Executor. I am Judicator Aldaris. I have been sent by the Conclave to serve and counsel you. The former
Sure thing, Colonel.
Tassadar was commanded to halt the Zerg progress in the Terran sector by burning the infested human worlds. Unfortunately, he disregarded his orders and attempted to destroy the Zerg while sparing the Terrans from the flame. Clearly, Tassadar has failed us. You must not. The Conclave has dictated that our first priority is to strengthen our defenses. You must reinforce our outpost in Antioch and make certain that the province does not fall to the Zerg. Your old comrade, Praetor Phoenix, will meet you there and assist you in this endeavor.
And yeah, so that's Paul Edding, a very famous voice actor. You may or may not know him as the Colonel from Metal Gear Solid, but also approximately everything else you've ever heard ever. He's also done quite a few voices for Blizzard over the years. He's done a lot of voice work. God, let's see here. He was the Archbishop Lazarus in Diablo 1. He was thus the narrator and Mephisto and the summoner in Diablo 2. Let's see, scroll down a little bit here. I'm just looking for Blizzard stuff because he's everywhere. He's absolutely everywhere. I swear he did something. I know he's done WoW work. Oh, that's good. It's not going to be listed, is it? He played Chancellor Eamon in Diablo 3. Yeah, it's not going to be listed. He's actually does one of the voices for the Overmind in Starcraft 2 specifically. He does a lot of stuff in Tor, a lot of stuff in he's done so much work. But he is in WoW. But the relevant point is he also is the voice actor in Warcraft 3 specifically for Veramothras and Gul'dan. Not to be confused with the current voice actor for Gul'dan, who is Troy Baker. Yes, Paul Edding is in the God of War franchise. So in God of War 1, he was Zeus and the Gravedigger, a.k.a. In God of War 2, he was Theseus, and in God of War 3, I thought maybe he wasn't in God of War 3. Hang on a sec. Oh, my bad. He wasn't in God of War 3. My bad. Either way. Protoss. We've been fighting them the whole game.
Make use of me.
Oh, that's sharp. I like that.
Nagatun.
Now we gotta deal with Dragoons. And the first thing they do is they give us a stare. Thanks! Thanks, Blizzard.
Mitora.
Yeah, that's a sleek interface. I like that. You can really get a look at these suckers, too.
Nagatun.
Let me go ahead and go out on a limb and say something very, very unpopular. Of all of the sleek-looking aliens in fiction, I kind of like the Protoss just purely aesthetically the most.
Confirmed.
I was just thinking that, Loner. Oh, this was definitely a Jurassic Park. No question. Zero question. Yeah, we've got the Eldar, we've got the Tau, we've got the, I can't think of the name all of a sudden. The Covenant from Halo.
Mitora. Lopai. Confirmed.
Yeah, did you notice we're yellow, by the way? Yeah, we shouldn't fight that.
Initiated.
Very small, very tutorial-y mission.
Engage the enemy.
Just getting you used to having shields and having armor and being tankier than other things.
Initiated. Lopai. Nagatun.
Listen, you must like the Tau.
Commencing.
It's for the greater good. Oh yeah, before we advance the mission. Sorry. I've been playing Zerg so long.
I long for combat. She house. What man calls? He saw too. Entaru Adun. All for the Empire. Doomed to all who threaten the homeworld. I long for combat.
Honestly, I actually really like that Zealot portrait. That looks legit. I said I wouldn't, but I have to break my promise. That's the original portrait. Not bad, but I mean, you can see the distinction immediately. I really like the new portraits almost universally. Look at that.
Make use of me.
Really quick, thank you, Milk. I'm glad you enjoy the VODs. And I'm sorry we can't catch you live. If you know 3 things you'd like to put that towards for the future, please let me know. Either way, thank you.
Receiving. Transmitted. Unauthorized transmission. Incorrect protocol. Drop your weapon. You have 15 seconds to comply. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Item needed.
So yeah, let's compare some stats super quick here. 60 shields, 100 health. 80 shields, 100 health. This is something we've kind of already observed playing against the Protoss. In the Dragoons and the Zealots are pretty much equally tanky. They also have the same type of armor while we're on the subject, so no damage variance there. The difference is that the Dragoons should be awesome by virtue of being a mobile ranged turret, and they're not because they're Dragoons. And the Zealots are actually really good when you get certain upgrades into them, and hit way harder than you'd think they do. That 16 damage probably doesn't sound like a lot, but as we demonstrated literally the previous mission to now, a proper Zealot group will absolutely shred through things. Yeah, back in the day, granted, not in the professional scene, but back in the day, the types of rushes we used to fear the most, me and my friends, were Zealot rushes, because Zealots are mean. And yeah, very cost-effective. We'll show that off in a little bit here. You got it. Guild Wars 2. Let me write all that down. Guild Wars 2, Factorio, and Yakuza 0. So now for someone who quit Blizzard because he was a moron.
Ah, Executor and Taro Adun, it is good to see you once more upon the field of battle. Alas, all of our probes were lost in the last Zerg attack, and we had no resources with which to replace them.
So you're probably thinking, what am I on about? I can't remember the guy's name anymore, but he's pretty much the famous Blizzard voice actor, at least he used to be. He voiced every single character in Warcraft 1. Bill Roper, thank you. Every single character in Warcraft 1. He was the only voice actor. And then he was a very common voice actor in Warcraft 2, Starcraft, Diablo 1, Diablo 2. I believe Diablo 2 was the last thing he voiced for. Because then he got a... Well, how do I put this? How do I put this as politely? As nice? Yeah, he got a massive ego. He started thinking of himself as a rock star. So he bailed on Blizzard and went off to rock star it up a little bit. He is actually, this is not a joke, he is quoted as saying that he feels that people should recognize him on the street and be like, oh my god, and rush up to get his autograph. Whether or not I agree with that mentality, the mere fact that he was willing to say that says a lot about the man's mentality. Yeah, then he rushed off to go do Hellgate London, which sucked. For the record, I've beaten Hellgate London, so I have earned the right to give that opinion. Hellgate London was not a good game. And I'm not sure if he's done anything since then. He kind of fell off the map after that. That's Bill Roper. In a nutshell. Now I want to demonstrate something. I've actually already demonstrated it, but I really want to show this off. So you see these two Dragoons? Let's just...
We had intended to construct photon cannons here for defense, but without probes, we could not do so.
Okay, so I want to show off. I want to get these Dragoons inside the base.
You must construct additional pylons.
Okay. They got it this time. They're going to figure it out. They're going to figure it out. They got this. They've got this, guys. Come on. Oh. Dragoons, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, the button's different. Jeez. Okay. Yeah, no, these guys are perfectly blocking the path. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Hang on. Let's actually... Let's not lose the map because we're screwing around. Look, I'm all for the VA, but come on. Yeah, Phoenix is OP. He can literally carry this mission. Look at the difference between him and a typical Zealot. 60, 100, 240, 240. 1016, 2040. Phoenix, I don't think he's the strongest individual hero unit, but he's definitely one of them. Yeah, I think Zeratul is actually the strongest. But anyways, in terms of just raw stats. So, let's talk about Protoss. Well, you see, Elizar, that would take time and work and effort. And idiots asked them not to. I'm not making that up. So let's talk about the Protoss probe. First of all, they do have shields. Cool. You notice they cannot repair, just like, you know, the Zerg cannot repair. But, Protoss construction. So, I know this all sounds very, very basic to anybody who's played this game before, so I do apologize. I have Eternus. I talked about Terrans and the mobility of the bases. I talked about Zerg and the burst nature of it. Protoss are very fire and forget, which is kind of strange, actually, but interesting to look into, interesting to think about, because you set. There's even a pop-up that said this: you set up building and then you immediately move on. So one single worker can go out and build pretty much an entire base by themselves and then go right back to working. It means that the throughput of production for them is kind of interesting. They also have a slightly revised building setup. So you see those little blue circles? All of their buildings, with, I think, like two exceptions, excuse me, have to be inside of this blue thing, otherwise they do not function. So these crystals aren't just their unit food, they are their building food. And so proper unit placement, proper crystal placement, and then proper building placement is critical to everything else. Yeah, that's why I said two, Loner. Like, here, I'll demonstrate really quick. See, won't even let me build outside of a pylon. If a pylon goes down, the building stops working. This, once again, changes up the dynamic of base building and the economy and teching of Protoss quite a bit. Because you have to put thought, similar to the Zerg, you have to put thought into what goes where. But you could also... It's really, really easy to get yourself pigeonholed into the idea of one single pylon, which, by the way, looks great in the remastered version, powering, like, 8 buildings by itself, and then just putting a bunch of pylons over here. You can get away with doing that. I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, it's worth noting, pylons are kind of beefy, 300 health, 300 shields, but otherwise, they're also relatively small. But otherwise, there's nothing. God damn it, I keep hitting the StarCraft 2 hotkey for that. Yeah, exactly. Your opponent snipes it and whoops. So you kind of get into the habit of doing these honeycomb things. There's other actual methodology that goes into building these things too. Some people do like a double up. So each pylon is actually 2 pylons, like I'm demonstrating right here. Some people do like a half and half, so there's one, and then there's another, and then there's one in between both of them. So you see how we got this overlap kind of thing going on. Notice it does actually show the overlap, which I like, because this is a nice safe spot, which has double coverage, and you get the general idea. So I'll demonstrate really quickly here. Look, I am very looking forward to StarCraft 2. I have never been quiet about that. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Now, I'm being attacked by air from behind my lines, so if you give me 7 years, my Dragoons might eventually get over here to deal with this problem. This is a good time to talk about photon cannons. I wouldn't, Spartan, as weird as that sounds. I'm kind of playing chicken with Warcraft 3. I'm hoping we either get a better reforged or, much more likely, just a re-release of the original. And when that happens, sure, let's go ahead and hit Warcraft 3, but Reforged can go directly to hell. You know what I mean? I have the original CDs. I know you have to jump through some hoops to get them playable. We'll figure it out. So, Protoss units. So, okay, 100 minerals, twice as expensive as a Marine, and 2 food. But Zealots are actually pretty damn strong, as we've already demonstrated. Pretty strong, pretty tanky, hit pretty hard. They are somewhat costly, but they're also pretty effective. I could easily see Zealots being one of our positive units. Dragoons, we've already talked about quite a bit. Dragoons probably should be better than they are, but they absolutely aren't, and you will not see me use Dragoons very much past maybe like one mission just to show them off. Like maybe this mission, I might show them off. It feels like a flavor thing, Loner. Zerg did the same thing, actually. Right, so let's get a cybernetics core going. Let's get that over here. Because I've never reviewed Starcraft 2, Elizar. Also, the technical answer to that is the same reason I stream anything. Can you tell me why I stream any game, Elizar? Yeah, no kidding, Mate Fist. What does StarCraft 2 learn from Warcraft 3 off the top of my head? Everything. Control grouping. Multi-selection. Tabbing through unit formations. Better formation design in general. Better pathfinding. Tighter unit design pretty much across the board. More specific map design. Heavier leaning on gimmicks. Better resource distribution. Like, honestly, everything isn't really much of an exaggeration there. Yeah, better doodad placement. Better visuals in general. Like, StarCraft 2 is going to just kind of stomp on the brickwork side of things. Oh yeah, and there's your quadruple lineup thing.
Executor?
That's why they're already outside, not zero. Although, that's actually a question. Can we enter and leave the base right now? Barely. Look at that. Just barely. Jesus. Oh yeah, sorry. Dragoons cost 125 minerals and 50 gas. So, that extra... that's not cheap. That is, in the grand scheme of things, that is not cheap. It also still costs 2 food, same as a Zealot, which makes sense. That is the kind of thing that would make a lot more sense if they were a lot more useful. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, it's not like they're useless, but, you know. Enjoy the sleeps, Evo. If you don't wake up, I understand. I'll be sad, but I will understand.
House. Your command? Zaptalados. What would you ask of me?
I mean, co-op mode is honestly quite legit, so I don't blame you for that. I noticed how Zealots take up much smaller of a hitbox, and so pretty much have the same general design philosophy that, say, Marines or Zerglings have, aka small hitbox, so not as many pathfinding issues. Dragoons are... That's a good question.
Awaiting instructions.
The biggest difference between Dragoons and Goliaths is Goliaths have different weapons for ground or air. So I think Goliaths are technically better at anti-air, But I think in every other equation, Dragoons will win that because of the extra tankiness, and because of the I think they have increased range too. I could be wrong about that. That might be a Brood War upgrade. Oh no, it's right there. Increased Dragoon range. The cannon does not have AoE. I'll tell you that right now.
Colossus. I am needed.
Are you gonna smash right into it, Ross? Games I would stream even if they're bad, because they might have an interesting factor about them. So, something I've said often, Jammy Rumble, is there's a great value in streaming specific bad games. There's stuff we can learn from them, right? There's some stuff we can understand and process and all that. Secret of the Stars is my go-to example of that. Because even though Secret of Stars is the worst game I have ever reviewed, it was still a textbook for how not to do RPG design. And it was legitimately fascinating to discuss that and analyze it and just kind of work through it. Similarly, I'm actually, and this is not a joke, I am looking forwards to streaming Ride to Hell Retribution someday. So, I suppose that answers you.
Instructions.
Notice Goliath. Dragoons build pretty slowly. Probably need to get another gateway going. Also, so if you're going to be building Dragoons, you can't really place your gateways right next to each other. You really need to spread them out so they have room. It is disturbingly easy in StarCraft 1, especially given the diagonal nature of some of the maps like this stuff here, to build a building in such a way that your units cannot get out of it. And there's no sell a building, or refund a building, or move a building unless you're a Terran. So your only option is to then turn on and destroy your own building if you make that mistake. Nothing really tells you that, by the way. I am looking forward to the entire 2D block, honestly, Ross. Even though I will insist on 100%ing 2 of the games... No, just 1, excuse me, of the games as we go. No, it's 2. I'm right.
Awaiting instructions.
So yes, Tara had a question for me. The Knights, the Vikings, and the Samurai? Only at the most surface possible level. I've also never heard of that, and so I'd have to think about it for more than a second. Yes, review. PFA. Or PFR, I keep saying PFA. PFR. So we are PFR right now.
Transmitted.
I mean, I've been saying BFA for years at this point. When did BFA come out? How many years have I been saying that stupid acronym? Oh yeah, another thing I like about Protoss building. Oh gosh, I need more food! Whoops. Oh, damn it. There you go. More food. Back to the game.
Receiving.
Let's see how Dragoons do, shall we?
Commencing. For vengeance. Confirmed. Commencing.
What's really funny, you know how a lot of units have a multiplier factor? Where they just get better the more of them they have, like battlecruisers or multi-mutalisks? Dragoons arguably get worse the more of them there are, because of stuff like that. Which, you kind of already saw it. Give it a second. They'll get there. Hang on. Hey, we made it. We made it. almost hesitate to call this a remaster, as sad as that probably sounds. But it's a decent remaster. It is. I'll give him credit where credit is due. I've seen better, and it's not a remake. But I think they put enough effort into it that it can be called more than merely a port. So, how many of you know what stutter stepping is? Stutter stepping is, of course you know, Tara. Stutter stepping is a technique that certain specific units can undergo in order to try and slightly increase the attack rate, the rate of fire that the unit does. Marines are the most obvious and classic example of this. A stutter step is like you move you move, and then you attack, and then you move, and then you attack, and you move, you attack, and you keep canceling the attack over and over and over to try and speed up the rate of fire. But in order for that to work, the attack has to happen the moment the attack is ordered. You'll notice that is not true for Dragoons. Let me demonstrate. Because it takes so long for that attack animation to actually start, that if you... this isn't just a micro thing. If you try to micro your Dragoons too much, you can actually cause them to do more... you can do more harm to your own tactics than good. So this is the final nail in the coffin for why Dragoons do not get a positive, and in fact might actually get a negative when we get there. That extra little animation and transit time pretty much demonstrably makes them worse. They're one of the very few units that actually benefits from A-moving. Nothing about a samurai is strong or expensive. Any more than a knight, or Vikings are. As for Vikings attacking hard and fast, that's just raiding. You can say the same thing about Mongolians. So the Terrans are now the Mongolians. That's my point, Elizar. It's a surface-level comparison, which I don't think really gets across anything. That being a knight back in the day was expensive as hell. There's a reason why most knights owned land. Not a lot of land. You know, they weren't super nobility, but they were, in many cases, functionally part of the nobility infrastructure. Yeah, Dragoons, unironically, are better off when they are defending. Because they are a mobile turret. Now here's the problem with that. So in order to get a turret down, you need a forge. That's it, you need a forge. So there you go, boom. And a turret costs you 150 minerals, and that's it. A Dragoon requires you to get a gateway and a cybernetics core. Then you can build them for 125 minerals and 50 gas and 2 food. So there is a little bit of a give and take here. They are more expensive and arguably worse, but they are mobile and they don't have to care about those things, the pylons. I've just mentioned this because you will probably never see me use Dragoons again. But if you do see me use Dragoons, it will probably be purely on a defensive end.
Although we too have marched across hundreds of worlds together, I never imagined that we would be fighting on Ire. The Zerg are indeed worthy foes.
I like the new splash screens in general.
Entaro Adun, Executor.
I also like how Aldaris looks.
Antioch has restored my faith in the Templar caste. I admit that Tassadon's desertion had shaken my faith.
Indeed, Aldaris. I would hope that the Judicator would put more faith in their Templar brethren.
Tassadar, where have you
Be
been?
silent, Judicator. There is no time to waste, and I have much to tell you. As you know, the Zerg vanished after the fall of the Terran world of Tarsonis. And though the Conclave bid me return home, I was compelled to remain. A powerful psionic call drew my attention to a remote barren world named Char. Apparently the call was answered by others as well. For upon Char, I encountered those who were once our brethren. The Dark Templar.
Consorting with the Fallen Ones is heresy.
Enough! Hear me, Executor. For I have learned much from the Dark Templar Prelate, Zeratul. The Overmind controls its minions through agents called Cerebrates. Strike down the Cerebrates, and the swarms will surely fall.
Executor, Tassadar may be right. If you can keep the Zerg occupied, my force may be able to penetrate their perimeter and slay the abomination.
I pray we can trust you, Tassadar. Already I can sense the taint of the Fallen One's influence on your mind. You must return to Ire at once.
My concern is for the safety of Ire, not the judgments of the Conclave. I will return when the time is right.
You ever notice how all three campaigns have an obstinate bureaucrat, either as a faction or as an individual? Terrans had the Confederacy, which, even if we don't know the full breadth of the Confederacy, we know they're the bad guys, and Duke. The Zerg had Dagoth, and ourselves, and the Protoss have Aldaris and the Conclave. It's weird to think about. So is this the mission, I think? Oh, yeah. So this mission, this is an interesting one, because the map's relatively small, and you think, oh, okay. And we've just had a tutorial mission, and the tutorial mission is honestly piss easy. It's there to figure out how to control Protoss. Pylons, multi-building, the nature of Protoss units, stuff like that, right? It was supposed to be a, here's the Protoss. And usually what happens is the next mission is, okay, here's a new concept. Well, we are on a timer right off of the gate. And that's exactly as bad as it sounds. So we're gonna kind of rush here.
You've not enough minerals.
No, I don't believe the Protoss ever do fight the Terrans. Not Zero, you're correct. We fight a lot of Zerg, and we do fight Protoss. Spoilers. We never fight the Terrans. Probably because the Terran Dominion is off kind of, you know, trying to, like, build itself.
You've not enough minerals.
And partially because the Zerg are kind of an immediate existential threat.
You've not enough minerals. Your warriors have
Up.
the enemy. Protoss.
No, unfortunately, Terra is quite correct. Unfortunately. I'm sorry, Terra, but you're right. No, I don't remember Eleazar, but I guess we'll get there. The Protoss have been dominant, not just, like, in their local area of space. The Protoss have been so dominant for so long that they have obtained mastery over multiple sectors of space simultaneously. They have reached the official, you know, we have retired as a species point. So, they see, you know, they see an opponent which has managed to reach their planet. It's like, oh, wow.
You've not enough minerals.
Time to go and shove these people off us. We got this. Yeah, Fallen Empires, or whatever they were called, back in Stellaris. Thank you, Terra. It is Fallen Empire. Yeah, that is what the Protoss really are. And that is exactly as terrifying as it sounds, but it also means that a particularly careful and crafty up-and-comer can cause them issues. Now, I would love to think that the Terrans could eventually have knocked over the Protoss, and I do actually think that. But the Swarm are on a whole other level. As I've said many times, the Swarm are much more terrifying in lore than they are in gameplay. And they're just... like, they're planet eaters, right? Not like the Tyranids. Not like the Tyranids. There's a mission in Starcraft 2, with very minor spoilers, which I'll never forget because it's one of the very few missions that kind of got across just how horrifying the Swarm really is. Because instead of having a typical timer, it's a counter indicating how many millions of Zerg have landed on the planet you're defending. Remember that one? Hey, Valerian. Sorry, you asked that earlier, Ghost Rider. I apologize. So changes I would love to see for StarCraft 1. Honestly, just add in... No, it's not billions. It's not billions, right? With a B. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that. So, add in all of the quality of life changes that StarCraft 2 added to the series. Better hotkeying, better control groups, being able to select more than 12 units at a time, vastly improved pathfinding, better formation, and better general AI for the movement of units. Rebalancing pretty much every unit, honestly. Up and down. You know. All of that stuff. All of the stuff that just made the core game better in StarCraft 2. Yeah, the ability for the map to just adjust on the fly. Yeah, actual and good difficulty settings. I'm okay with not totally overhauling each mission, but if I'm being honest, the next thing I would want would be a total overhaul of each mission, bringing these missions up to the standard of quality that StarCraft 2 had. Like, there's a lot of individual... Yeah, no, I wanted a remake. A remaster... The reason I am so harsh on the definition of these terms is that a remaster, by definition, doesn't really change much. That's the point. It's a remaster. It's just there to put a little bit of polish onto the existing thing. And it's a port plus one, right? So, I'm fine with that. And a good remaster is fun, and this is a good remaster. I'm with it. Cool. But this isn't what I wanted. I wanted a remake. I pretty much always want a remake. I'm crazy. Now, let's zealot it up a little bit, shall we? Not like we got a lot of choices at this point. I forget if there's a southern ramp. There actually is, Mr. Red. I have not played it, though. God damn it. Hey, Terra, I keep hitting B and then E. Do you get it?
Your warriors have engaged.
See you around, Jammy Rumble. Food and Protoss. Protoss like eating sunlight, and they need water. And to my knowledge, that is it. Pretty sure. I mean, they've got kind of the vague, mystical, we need energy thing going on for them. But...
Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
Honestly, I'll take the Wii U version, just on the Switch. Us.
Warriors have engaged the enemy. My life for hire. Instructions transmitted for vengeance. Input command.
Yeah, so we're gonna need some Dragoons, which sucks. But there's nothing we can really do about that.
My life for ire.
My current big prediction for the Switch 2, Switch Harder, is that they're going to go ahead and really go hog wild on the Metroids on that. Metroid Dread sold quite well, which is good. But it means they also... Nintendo experimented with Metroid Dread, and that experiment succeeded. God damn it! And so that means there's a really good chance that they're going to go more in on Metroid. Oh, speaking of which, Metroid Prime 1 also sold quite well. So yeah, we've got Prime 4, and the re-releases and/or remasters of Prime 2 and Prime 3. Just kind of waiting in the wings, right? So that's kind of what I'm thinking, where we're going to go with that. And we have to be a little bit cautious with our resources, because we don't have a lot on these early missions. So we're going to kind of pull back a little bit here. Oh, absolutely, Czar. That's pretty normal at this point.
Awaiting instructions. Transmitted.
Oh, there it is.
My life for ire.
A lot hinges on whether or not they're going to do backwards compatibility with the Switch 2, and I don't know. That could go a lot of ways. Might be able to get 2 more Dragoons out before we run out of time here.
Transmitted. Confirmed.
Let's get off this frickin' ramp. Up.
We are under attack. Colossus. Colossus.
I agree, Ross.
I have returned.
We'll find out, Elizar. I don't know. You think I know what this game's gonna review? I got nothing. I even said that right at the beginning. I know you weren't there for it. I even said right at the beginning. I'm pretty sure I know exactly how StarCraft 2 is gonna review. What I do not know is how StarCraft 1 is gonna review. It's actually been reviewing better than I thought so far. Think of that what you will. God damn it.
I have returned. Make use of me. Awaiting instructions.
I would agree with Meadfist, by the way. It's one of the reasons I liken them to the Fallen Empire concept from Stellaris.
Upgrade
Fallen Empires usually only have like 2, 3, 4 systems with only like 1 or 2 really developed planets on them. They just do not have the infrastructure. Now they have super strong stuff, but hey, Talmarid, how things be? 2 more.
Awaiting instructions.
Let's do this.
You have not enough minerals. Colossus.
And then Phoenix shows up and wins, right? Yeah, exactly, Meadfist. If you fail to successfully chop off the head of the Protoss, bad things are going to happen. One mothership can cause a colossal amount of damage in lore. I mean, we actually see that in Wings of Liberty, if you remember.
For vengeance. Commencing.
So, Reavers. Reavers. I hate Reavers. I hate them being mine. I hate them being the enemies.
What would you ask of
For
me?
very different reasons.
Input command. Transmitted. Colossus.
Congrats, Talmarid. You getting something to celebrate? You should get something to celebrate. Do it. Ignore the not enough minerals. You should do it. At the moment, Amon is asleep, if you'll remember. Amon will not be woken up until the,
We are under attack.
honestly, like halfway through Heart of the Swarm. Asleep, dead. Might as well be the same thing. So,
My life for ire.
why doesn't the what, Elizar? Oh, you're right. It was at the end of Wings. My bad. My bad. You're right. You're right.
Executor?
Use of me. Commencing. Make use of me.
Okay, this is going to go badly. So let's grab a save. See if we can micro this to victory.
Awaiting instructions.
We've got about as much of a mixed force as we can really manage in this surprisingly small map.
Transmitting. Receiving.
Back off, back off, back off. Let them come to us.
I hunger for battle.
We're also pretty much out of resources, so if this assault fails, then we're kind of screwed.
For ire.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Don't get too distended. Don't get too distended. Fight over by the minerals.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Yeah, so there's the defenses from hell. We're gonna focus fire a little bit here, because we have to. Oh, listen to those deaths. Listen to those deaths. We don't have any of the relevant upgrades for anything.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
The good news is we've broken the back end. The bad news is Phoenix is trying very hard to die. Hold back, hold back.
What would you ask of me?
Yeah, this mission is way meaner than a mission number 2 needs to be. This is a perfect example of the negative Blade Traval mentioned. Imagine being on mission 2 of the Protoss and just running into this nightmare field. Like, I see what they were going for. You're supposed to sit and defend and build up for a bit, and then you're supposed to get a Doom Army, which is supposed to help you push through the enemy base. But the Doom Army isn't. Like, Phoenix is pretty decent, but these defenses are mean. Absolutely, Uzar. We call that external continuity.
What would you ask of me?
This we're not even done yet, by the way.
Executor?
I have never successfully gotten the Reavers to do what they're supposed to do. You'll notice I didn't even bring them for this, by the way. Okay, we did it. Jesus. I mean, Titans, obviously.
I will remain behind and observe the effects of our attack. Return to the Citadel. I shall notify you when the brood becomes erratic.
Mission complete. Ah, damn. We took a lot of losses in that, too. That was, in case you missed that, that was 3 full control groups of Protoss units. Granted, that was all Zealots and Dragoons, but still. Jesus. We didn't have 3 full control groups at the end of that.
Executor, I bring news most dire. The cerebrate that we thought we had killed has arisen again. The creature's battered form was reincarnated despite the considerable damage we inflicted upon it. Even now, the Cerebrit drives its brood in preparation for their next offensive.
It is as I feared. It was folly to believe Tassadar could be trusted. The Conclave will not soon forget his wanton betrayal. Nevertheless, we must stand resolute. For attacking defenseless Cerebrits is not the way of true Protoss warriors. We shall overcome the entire swarm with the might and the fury that is our heritage. Executor, we shall lead our main strike force to the province of Sion, which has fallen to the Zerg. It's time the Zerg felt the wrath of the Sons of Ire. Praetor Phoenix will remain here with a small detachment and guard Antioch from any further assaults.
Adun be with you, Executor. Bring swift death to the enemies of Ire.
Can I admit something? I love the title of Executor. In real life, it's such a boring, banal thing. It's an illegal and economic title, but it sounds so cool. The Executor. Anyways. Yes, Mr. Nuclear, you're quite correct. So there's no real such thing as a death ball in StarCraft 1, Elizar. By definition, a death ball is a specific mix of units that completely cover each other's weaknesses. But StarCraft 1 only allows you to select 12 units at a time, and actually benefits from self-unit multiplicativity, which we've already talked about with regards to carriers and mutalisks, and we'll be, or sorry, battle cruisers and mutalisks, and we will talk about again when it comes to carriers. Listen, Crazy Norse. Yeah, they also exactly Meatfist. There's some terrain and pathfinding issues in StarCraft 2. StarCraft 2 honestly encourages you to have mixed unit armies. StarCraft 1 encourages you to have mono unit armies. Can I admit a small story here? I don't know why it's reminded me of this. Back in the day, I was doing a match with a friend of mine, and it was just a friendly match. And he and I used to play StarCraft together. I actually taught him how to play RTSs. It was a really cool experience, because what we did is we went versus, but because of StarCraft 1. But what I did is I sent over like a drone or something to his base and just sat there watching what he was doing and gave him advice and taught him some of the hotkeys and the nature of how the game worked and blah, blah. It was really cool. It was really fun. So I got him into the game, and he was cool and all that fun stuff. And just a few months later, he's like, all right, I want to do a 1v1 with you. And I'm like, okay. You sure? Because usually we would fight against other people. We'd team up. And he's like, no, I want to 1v1 you. I was like, okay. So I absolutely run roughshod over him. I was Zerg at the time. I usually did random. So I was Zerg at the time, and I did a properly executed Hydralisk Rush. This is what reminded me of it. His response was to get extremely pissy. He was so angry at me, he actually didn't talk to me for a week. And I still feel bad about that to this very day, because I really did just absolutely destroy him. There was nothing he could do. He completely melted. And that's pretty much why I don't like PvP in a nutshell. Because whether I'm winning or losing, I'm having a bad time. You know? Anyways. So I warned him. I'm not that great at this game, but I was better than him. And that's not bragging, that's just fact. So we talked about Zealots, we talked about Dragoons, but I want to talk about the cutscene we just saw. Narratively speaking, I actually think it's decently well written. We, the player, are just rolling our eyes this whole time like, ugh, come on. But that's the point. There's the different layers of suspense, which I talk about all the damn time. To wit, there's we know and the characters know. There's we don't know and the characters don't know. There's we know and they don't know. And then there's they know and we don't know. Those are the different types of suspense that exist when it comes to writing. This is a we know, they don't. We've already played the Zerg at this point. We know how the Cerebrits work. We know how the reincarnation works. It actually happened during the... it didn't happen. Sorry, we saw it being cut off during the thing, and they mentioned it in the very first mission about how Cerebrits will be rebuilt if anything goes bad. And they specifically call out the reincarnation thing in the mission where Zaz actually dies. So we know that Alderus is full of hooey. We also know that the Zerg have been absolutely stomping all over the Protoss. So once again, when we hear Alderus being like, "Ah, ha, ha, we will defeat them like the true sons of Ire we are," it just sounds to us like he's being an idiot. But he's actually not. He just doesn't actually understand the situation at all. Alderus is a fascinating character to me because he's an obstinate bureaucrat who's actually an ally. And I don't think there's a lot of examples of that in fiction. And we'll see more of this in Brood War, where he really comes into his own. Because he's still kind of a dick, but really, he is kind of on our side in this whole situation, and he will become even more on our side by the end of this campaign and following into Brood War. Now, Loner's question is, why didn't Tassadar tell them that only void energy can kill Cerebrus? That's a good question. That's either a plot hole, or he actually didn't know at that point, which is unlikely, but possible. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which it is. There's a little bit of a vagueness to the timeline here, which we'll talk about in just a minute, because Tassadar is over here kind of dealing with the Dark Templar, except he kind of isn't, and then we have to go and rescue him, and it's going to be a whole thing. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Wow, Tara. Yeah, some people, and I include younger me in this, just don't know how to lose. I've said this before. One of the best life lessons I ever learned from Starcraft, and this is not a joke, was I learned how to lose. When I was younger, anytime I would get to the point where I started losing a map, I'd just turn on the cheats. Or I'd quit the game. Actually learning how to do better, how to try and turn around a loss, or how to accept a loss and improve from that. I know this sounds pathetic, but Starcraft is actually what taught me that. Starcraft 1. Speaking of losing. Oh, goody. Scouts. Negative to gameplay. Alright. Alright, we're good, we're good.
Acknowledged. It will be done.
I think I agree, Loke. Unfortunately, it is also worthy of a positive, but yeah, scouts are wraiths, but worse. That's the simplest way to put that. I'm sorry, Mike Ramono. I didn't even see it. This is it. This is it. Our very, very first story negative. Just for the Protoss campaign in general, Loke. The logic and self-construction of, like I mentioned, the suspense thing. Establishing who and what the Conclave are, our connection to Phoenix. It's just kind of a general plot positive for these first few missions. Protoss units I actually like, other than carriers. Anyways, so let's see here. See you around, Not Zero. Have a good night.
Awaiting command. Your warriors have engaged the enemy. Make use of me.
Wow. You know, I've never played co-op with a rando, Papanix, and you just convinced me to never do so. Ever.
Initiated.
Fucking randos. normal. Wow. I mean, even on brutal, there's such a thing as not being a dick, you know?
Construct additional pylons. You've not enough minerals.
Scouts look cool. Does that count for a positive? No? Okay. There you go. 15 pluses to gameplay. Scouts look cool.
Standing by.
I don't even understand that question, Elizar. Because fate. What's the issue with scouts? Give me a minute. Give me a minute, give me a minute. I'm gonna tech up a bit here. You've got to explain that load. You have got to explain that load. I've actually got a bit of a line of people who want to co-op with me, but I will keep you in mind, absolutely.
Make use of the waiting command.
I mean, some people just want an excuse to be angry, and some people are just having a bad day, so who knows. Doesn't really excuse it, but, you know. I guess we could scout a little bit while I'm just sitting here.
Contact.
With my scouts.
Is acknowledged. It will be done.
I mean, okay, so you're saying why didn't he go rescue Tychus before the events of Starcraft 2 happened?
Engage the enemy. Awaiting instructions.
How does he know Tychus even exists and is still alive? It's hard to rescue someone you don't know needs rescuing.
Shogun. Standing by.
Good afternoon, Dark Day. Yeah, ironically, the same problem we have is the same problem he had. Good afternoon, Dark Day. Did I already say that? Listen, you're getting all the afternoons. Well, in that case, it's just bad writing, Bob and Eggs. I don't have any further excuses than that. To see, by the time of StarCraft 2, like when Wings of Liberty starts, Raynor is pretty much perfectly in a position to not help Tychus out. As weird as that may sound. We start very much on the back foot in Wings of Liberty, like a lot. So, it really wouldn't be feasible to help him out. However, there are other points in history during the Raiders' history where they could have accomplished something like that. And then again, they might have also been busy that whole time. So, I suppose the easiest answer I would go ahead and give is that Raynor was already in a horrible mental state, partially because of the situation with the Queen of Blades, and partially with the non-stop morale campaign that Mengsk was very successfully running against him. And so it honestly just never even really occurred to him to go and rescue his old friend. And probably didn't even really process that his old friend was there until he literally showed up. Not trying to excuse the writing, I'm just saying, if you put me on the spot, that'd probably be my answer to all that. Stargates, thankfully, can be warped in wherever because they don't have to worry about pathfinding. Oh yes, he also wasn't really his friend. That's a whole other thing. Tychus is not a good person. But Tychus, to me, is, first of all, he's the best character in Starcraft 2. Let's just get that out of the way. But I very firmly believe that Tychus is the kind of person who could have been a good person in a better setting. Remember, he went away during the time of the Confederacy, which was a time of waste, falling apart, and slovenliness. Mass incompetence, in addition to evil and corruption and all that other fun stuff. Yeah, remember the cutscene where Tychus shows up? Jimmy thinks he's there to kill him. He isn't. But, you know. Yeah, he could easily have been a Han Solo. Absolutely. No question. The fact that he wasn't is a damn shame. Now, let's talk about the scouts. The frickin' scouts. By the end of Wings of Liberty, Elazar, yes. How bad is StarCraft 11? Depends on the era. Over the course of the campaigns, the setting actually becomes a much better place overall. But during the reign of the Confederacy, not good. Whoops, hang on. Give me a sec. Give me a sec, Lo. Give me a sec.
Commencing.
No, I need one more. Well, we're actually gonna scout it up here. We're gonna lean into this. So scouts. Scouts are midway up the tech tree. They're available as soon as you get the Stargate, which requires the cybernetics core, which requires the gateway, I believe. So, woo. Scouts require 275 minerals, 125 gas, and 3 food. That is not cheap. That is quite expensive on in pretty much every way. That's not great. And that's already problem number one. You'll notice there's actually several units in this game specifically that have the problem of being too expensive for what they're worth.
Teleport successful. Awaiting command.
Their second problem is their anti-air attack is pretty decent. 28 damage per hit, not too bad. They, of course, have the shields that everything does. They have 100 shields, 150 health, and plating armor, which isn't bad. Their ground damage is 8.
My life for ire.
I have heard it described before that a Protoss scout attacking a ground unit is kind of like getting a gentle massage. And I kind of agree with that. Scouts make sense if they are actually scouts. Oh yeah, their ground attack is also relatively slow. So scouts would make sense if they were substantially cheaper and focus fired on being just an actual, like an actual scout unit. If you're wondering what's the point of a scout unit, then first of all, I raise my eyebrow at you. But second of all, you haven't played Age of Empires, which has dedicated scout units.
Initiated. Transmitted. Confirmed.
Yeah, we also get a much better aerial scout later on, the Observer.
For vengeance. Awaiting command.
So let's do a couple things here really quick. As per our norm, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to scout it up for this particular mission. They also take forever to build while we're on the subject, as most Protoss units do. Carriers take, oh my god, too long to build. They're good at dealing with mutalisks, and use them to scout, and they're fast and don't have to worry about the terrain. Okay, okay. So you're thinking 15 negatives, Loke. You got it. 87? Oh, all right, you know. I'm sorry, Loke. I joke. But I've already lost one of my scouts because they suck so badly. Sorry. You'll notice I have a real army back here for while I wait for the scout squad to get going. I think they're badly designed. I really do. I think as is, if you want like the cheap and easy answer, reducing the cost of them drastically, like possibly even just having the cost of them, would be a good move there. As is, they are far too expensive for far too little gain, and they're basically a black hole of resources and time. Now, I don't know if that's negative worthy alongside the Firebat, but it's definitely in the running. They could, yeah, we can also go the glass cannon thing, basically make them into flying siege tanks, which could work too. Oh, excuse me. If you hold the cost completely, I'm with that too, Logue. The buffs for my actual army over here, which is going to actually carry me to victory later. It's expensive. I'm just sitting on resources. Oh, I always assumed Alderus had a beard back in the day, yeah.
Contact.
Liberators. We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
It will be done. You have not enough minerals.
Firebats suck, Crazy Norse. They are Marines, but worse in every way. They require additional tech to even access them. They don't have really good range. They don't have the additional armor that can make them a little bit more livable. But worst of all, their primary focus of being the big AoE splash damage, they're bad at, because their splash kinda isn't. Firebats are so site-specific in usefulness to the point of actually being, like, bad. Hence the point. There we go.
Teleport successful.
Alright, so, I can't pull that image up, Elizar. I hope you didn't just send me a virus, because if you did, we're gonna have some words.
You have not enough minerals.
Oh my god. They've definitely got the Egyptian look going. Look at that thing. Look at it. Very Chozo.
Awaiting command.
Oh, it's a deviant art. Well, that doesn't look anything like a beard. Makes you wonder what the Protoss do to decorate themselves, though. You have time to run my antivirus. Let's see. There's a virus here that says, lore sucks. I feel honored. So, we have one squad of scouts, which is about what we can afford right now. We're just going to start banking some resources. Let's see what we can do. Let's go fight with the might and power of Ire. True sons of Ire. 12 scouts. What's funny is this is such an investment of resources.
Upgrade complete. It will be done.
I mean, at that point, that's just having the cost again low, but I'm still with it. I'm still with it for the same reason.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Whoop, 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 whoop. We are on mission 3, I do believe.
Acknowledged. Engage the enemy, oh God.
God damn it.
Chaos.
What the hell killed me?
Upgrade complete.
That's actually cute. Well, let's build a replacement scout while we're sitting here.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy. It will be done.
Yeah, don't worry. Once we get carriers, it's going to be all carriers all the time.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy. Standing by.
Isn't that the same one? No, it's a different one. I mean, that literally just has a beard.
Locus acknowledged.
So I don't know what you want from me there.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy. Galossos. Make use of your god.
Spin a scout. Spin a scout. Did it die? Oh, there it is. I was gonna say, did it die in the like 5 seconds I was not looking? Friggin' scouts. Okay, okay. Yeah, carriers. Yeah, we'll talk about carriers when we get there. No, Elizar. I prefer the one in the remaster. Top to bottom. You know, that one right there.
Standing by. It will be done. Chaos.
I mean, you can focus fire with carriers, and you will watch me do so when we get there. But that's kind of the extent of strategy when it comes to carriers. Get to the point where you have them, and then focus fire. And that's kind of it. Oh, I don't remember what it's called, Elizar. It's the thing that connects them to the Kala, which, of course, I don't remember the name of. Alright. Prepare to witness the true fury and horror of the Scout Squadron!
Acknowledged. Chaos. Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Correct, Dark Day. I think? Maybe we have. God, I don't even remember.
Locus acknowledged.
Yes and yes, respectively, Elizar.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy. I am your god. Awaiting command.
Yes, this is us giving the Zerg a gentle massage. Hey, Korgoth, how you doing?
Acknowledged.
I got you confused for a Krogoth again. Correct, Elizar.
It will be done.
That comes from the schism. Big religious schism. Happened a long time ago. Nobody likes to talk about it for some reason.
Teleport successful. Awaiting command.
Anyways. I actually just answered that, Elizar. Religious schism. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk about the lore of the game. I apologize. Gameplay! Let's do some gameplay.
Contact.
Come here.
Awaiting command. Contact. Standing by. Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
What? The hell is that nonsense? Well, the scouts got here just in time to not be of any help. Religious schism is what I said. 1, 2, 3, 4. Days.
Standing by.
Schismism. Ahem.
Standing by.
Scouts.
Jogad. Awaiting command. Standing by. Contact. Signal unstable. Psionic link anticipated. Adjusting neural transmission. My life for ire. Self-referential inhibitors re-engaged. Jogad.
I mean, thank you for the history lesson, Elizar, but yes.
Upgrade complete.
Oh.
Upgrade complete. My life for ire. My life for ire.
Oh, gotcha. I was like, I just said that word. Can you not understand me? Am I just speaking badly? Is that what this is? I'm just speaking badly. It's my accent. You hate my accent. Just admit it. Just tell me to my face that I suck.
Standing by.
Oh my god, we can't even reinforce our scouts now if we really wanted to. Oh, that's a good point. I don't have any accent because I'm from California. California. Excuse me, I gotta say that right. Tain't no accent here. Just a minor speakification.
Kills. Acknowledged. Awaiting command. It will be done.
It's true. Dark Day secretly hates me for being Californian.
Transmitted. Contact.
Yep, that's right. While I was down there in them there California. Oh, also it's Missouri.
Awaiting command.
Like, oh my god. You know, one of my favorite things. So, when I moved for the first time from California to Kansas, Colorado, when I first moved there, and I mentioned that I was California, that I was from California, and at that point I was 7 for a bit of perspective. People are like, well, why don't you talk like a Californian? And I was like, and I was just thrown. I'm like, what's a Californian talk like? And they're like, well, you see, dude, you got to do the typical surfer thing, my man. And I can't even do it. But they kept asking why I don't have a typical surfer accent. Because apparently, like, that's the Californian accent in the minds of other people. I don't know.
Use of me.
Yeah, like Ninja Turtle style. Radical, man. Like, dude. Man. Like, oh, bruh.
done. Lucas acknowledged.
Seriously, Meat Fist?
Chaos.
Hang on, I'm sorry to ask. Are you from Austria, Meat Fist?
Chaos.
Okay, because if you were from Germany, then I was about to have some words with some tourists. Of course they have a religion. There's the Xel'Naga. And we're done. Alright, so. Yeah, the Ninja Turtles who were born and raised in New York. And there are there's at least 2 major distinct New York accents, which sound nothing like the Ninja Turtles do. Like, not a damn thing. Yeah, I don't even know that, Meat Fist.
Make use of me. Initiated contact. Chaos.
Olimer. I mean, I hear that all the time. Pretty much every country in the world has, like, that one accent that every other country incorrectly attributes to be the accent of the entire country, right? You know, there's only one British, even though there's, like, 7. And there's only one Swedish, even though there's, like, 3, and so forth and so on.
Awaiting command. Lucas acknowledged.
Yeah, there's only one Scottish. American always amuses me because there are so many American accents, I would have to actually sit and think about it. Like, I would actually have to process, like, okay, hang on. There's a lot of American accents.
For vengeance. Confirmed.
Yeah, you think, oh, okay, well, there's Southern. No, there's multiple Southern accents. It was such a trip when I first moved to Indiana, and I started hearing one of the Southern accents, of which there are several. Whoa, back up. It's a good question, Savacom. I'm not sure.
Standing by.
Yeah, you got your Deep South, you got your Twangs, you got your Texan. Yes, Protoss have... No, Protoss have no accent. There you go, perfect. I have met someone who sounds like Boomhauer in real life.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Truthfully, I don't know, Mike D'Amato. I remember briefly looking into it once, trying to figure out why exactly Southern drifted out of British. Whichever British it was at the time.
Contact. Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
I don't remember the specifics anymore, Mr. Red. So I apologize for not having more specifics to give you, but yeah. I mean, dialect and accents both just kind of drift. I do love doing a Dwarven accent, but I have to be wetter to do it. Too dry right now. I'm talking too much. Honestly, it takes me a minute to really get into the Dwarven accent. It's the very way I do my throat. And the way I do my voice and my mouth are completely different when I speak between the two. I can't describe it. It does actually take me a minute to really get it proper. I'm rather pleased with it, though. A lot of people make fun of it, and they can go directly to hell, because I'm actually proud of it. There's also the fact that my niece absolutely loves it. So that's good, too. Champion, I need you to heal the wounds. The wounds in the world. We need to get the Azurites for no goddamn reason. Soda pop. Absolutely. Got to do a little bit of soda pop. I don't know about you, but pop soda, that's just not a thing. It doesn't exist. It's a fantasy. Dahaka? Oh god, I don't think I could do Dahaka right now. It's kind of what Dahaka sounds like. Draenei, I have to really put myself into a mental, I have to put myself into a mental state in order to do Draenei. I would say it's based off of Russian, but that's a damned lie, because it's just based off of Draenei. I have no idea what the actual Draenei accent is based off of, and I don't care. It's a Draenei accent. It involves really pulling down the R's a little bit and changing how the sides of my mouth speak. In this manner, we can be doing certain words in a slightly different tone and vernacular, but I have no idea what the genesis is of this particular accent. It's simply being attributed to, once again, the manner in which they do the Draenei themselves. And Russian is, once again, one of those more than one accent situations. That's a lot of Hydralisks. Yeah, Russia's a big place. I know. Lore shock. Alright, time to massage. Alright, let's really... You've got so much tension in your back spires. Whoop, whoop, whoop. There we go. There we go. There we go. Doesn't that just feel better? Oh god. I couldn't possibly emulate a Chicago accent right now, but it is quite different from the manner in which I speak. That's, of course, downtown Chicago, for those of you not aware of that. There's also outer Chicago, which has a little bit more of an eastern twang to it, closer to New York. I mean, yeah, I grew up in Northern California, and then Southern California, and then Colorado, and then Northern California again, and then Eastern Kansas, which is different from Western Kansas, and so forth and so on. Yeah, I've been all over the place. No, there's plenty to do in Colorado. You can play your NES. You can play your NES with your friends. You can watch movies with your friends while getting ready to play your NES with your friends. My mother drifts a little bit more towards New York accent. My dad has a pretty stereotypical Californian accent. You go up another step, you start to get a little bit more southern. Both my grandparents on my mother's side, my surviving grandparents, were born and raised in Missouri. Yeah, you like what you do, Loner, is you get a bunch of snow together.
Executor, Antioch is under attack by overwhelming Zerg forces.
I've got scouts to send for you.
Hold your position for as long as possible.
Or not.
Fight on, brave Phoenix, and know that the gods watch over you. Entaro Adun.
Kentucky, specifically, Elizar. Yeah, you ready to talk to Aldaris and the Conclave, Daniel? Yeah, so Phoenix is just straight out left out to hang, even though there is no reason we couldn't have gone and reinforced him. Cutscene. She's 6 years younger than me, Elizar. So, let's go watch Phoenix get completely overrun by Zerg, shall we? Man, there's just so many Zerg here. His blade goes out, which is one of the dumbest damn things. It's probably one of the only cutscenes that's actually bad. Why does Phoenix's blade go out? Why is he out in the middle of the desert by himself? Anyways, the Zerg hive cluster near Sion province was destroyed, but Protoss forces paid a high price for victory. Praetor Phoenix, hero and steward of the Templar, was killed during the assault. The Conclave, convinced that its stratagems are winning the war against the Zerg, have let down their guard and turned their attention to personal matters. Judicator Aldaris, hey look, no beard, was ordered to find and arrest the wayward Tassadar and bring him home to stand trial for crimes of treason. Tassadar will say this outright in just a minute here. But let's be very clear about this for a second. While the Zerg have a foothold on their home world, we're going to send out an entire expeditionary fleet to go arrest Tassadar for crimes of heresy or treason or whatever the proper term is. Just... Now with only a small fleet for protection, Aldaris and the Executor have traveled to the ashen world of Char, hoping that Tassadar is still somewhere to be found. I love that shot, by the way. Carrier on approach to Char.
Executor, I know that you were reluctant to leave Ire in this dark hour, and that you still grieve for the loss of your comrade, Phoenix. But remember that he lived and died as a Templar. He has reached the Kala's end. There is no greater glory than that. We Judicator are called to look beyond such matters, to ensure the safety and future of our people. It is not the Zerg, but the rogue Tassadar, who represents the greatest threat to us now. If he is allowed to spread the Dark Templar's tainted influence to Ire, all will be lost. We will find him and bring him to judgment. Tassadar claimed that this world was abandoned by the Zerg just prior to the invasion of Ire. Yet I still sense a lingering darkness here. Be prepared for anything, Executor. If there are still Zerg on this world, then they must surely know of our arrival.
So, it's already been said in chat, but it really needs to be, it really needs to be mentioned. Aldaris is a political officer. Pretty much literally. All he's actually doing here, all he's doing is just doing what he is told to. He is a complete toady right now. It's a good word for that. Whoops. Yeah. He's the face, but ultimately... yeah, no cutting. But ultimately, it is actually the Conclave that is the real problem here. Spoilers. That's going to turn out interesting in the future. So here's our starting force. 4 Dragoons, 4 Zealots, 1 Templar.
Steed thy bidding. I heed thy call. Your thoughts betray you. I see you have an appetite for destruction. And you learn to use your illusion. But I find your lack of control disturbing. Zerg.
I don't even remember it right now, Terra. I'm sorry. If you remember it, go for it. I honestly don't right now.
Zerg. You think as I do.
Oh, yeah. So, this is a caster. We'll go ahead and talk about Templars. As with every caster in this game, Templars suck.
Shall be done.
So, they've got Sonic Storm. I've actually already talked about that. No attack. They cannot attack. Oh, yeah, and the Storm has friendly fire. So, there's 2 major problems with that. First and foremost, the fact that they can't attack is kind of bonkers in several ways. It means if they don't have Sonic Storm or an escort, they're screwed. But second, and much more importantly, it means they follow worker AI, defenseless AI. Defenseless AI, we haven't really talked about it, but several units in the game have the defenseless AI. If they're attacked, they run. You've seen this a little bit because units that are attacked by something they can't attack back just run. Like if an aerial attack hits a Zealot, the Zealot just goes, ah, and runs away. So Templars have that as their default for everything because they don't have an attack. Do you see the problem here? It also means that they're very irritating to use in a group because let's use a hypothetical situation. Let's say that over here, that on this white part of the map, there's some enemies. So if I go to move past these enemies, oh, this will be great. This will be perfect. So my enemies stop to fight them, but because he can't attack, he just keeps moving. So if that fight lasts longer than 5 seconds, he just goes past the initial wave of enemies into the next wave of enemies, either spawning them and then dying, or spawning them and the player notices, pulls back their Templar, and then the enemy comes in and it's just, he sucks. He sucks! So, he does, however, have one, actually 2, useful ability. One of which is, of course, Hallucination. And the other which is Sonic Storm, and the third of which is Templar, because they're all good. Like, every caster in this game isn't bad. That's not the problem. They're badly designed. So, Hallucination is extraordinarily useful. It's a shame we don't have it now. Hallucination crafts a holographic version of one of your existing units. You spot it on one of your units, and you go, hey, and then then you can use the hallucinations for all kinds of fun stuff. The enemy doesn't see them as hallucinations, so they are very, very effective. Meat shields, tanks, scouts, all kinds of stuff. I would actually say it's probably one of the casting spells I personally have gotten the most use of out of the game. Archons we'll talk about later. Oh, that's what you're talking about, Terra. Gotcha. Well, to read it, what Terra just said out loud. No, we are actually yellow. You can. It's hard to see because Protoss are yellow in general, but we actually are the yellow side here. Oh, by the way, I love the High Templar portrait. So Adun was a Templar who was ordered to kill all of the Dark Templars. However, he decided to not be extraordinarily evil for some strange reason, and so actually died, allowing them to escape. The Conclave was like, I got you, fam. This is going to be great. So, Adun was a great and wonderful hero who died, sacrificed himself to stop the Dark Templar from killing us all. Thank goodness Adun was there. So the Conclave elevated Adun falsely to the position of hero unit and became part of their mythos. And the Dark Templar revere Adun because he actually helped them out.
Gracias, little party.
Yeah, there's some Steam sale that just went live. I'll have to see if there's anything I care about on that one to pick up for the shoe. Okay, so I'm probably going to have to restart this.
Calls. For Adun.
Ironically, if I had hallucination, I could actually do several things here, but I don't, so I can't. I do hope you do some fun stuff on your birthday, Elizar, because if you don't... Yep, so that's game, basically.
Your thoughts. My path is set.
I hate this mission.
It shall be done.
So as I mentioned, there's friendly fire to the storm. I was actually trying to show that off earlier and failed at it. Yeah, they really want you to use the Templar. I'm not sure why. Again, if the Templar had all his spells, or rather, his second spell, this would work out a lot better. As is, this is just nonsense.
Steve, I am needed.
You notice we also don't have the upgrades for our units. Our Zealots are not fast, and our Dragoons do not have range. That's cool.
You think as I do.
Also, Templars are squishy as hell. 40 shields, 40 health.
You think as I do.
But hang on. Templars are even worse than you think. You ready for this? You ready for this?
My path is set.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Did you see that? It happened earlier, too. The enemy can prevent itself from entering a storm it's not already in. So you have to put it on an actual enemy unit, or a group of enemies. Which, based on the speed of the enemy, pretty much has to be on something that's already in melee, which pretty much means sacrificing one of your own units to make it happen, unless you get lucky. There are ways to make this work, but this is stupid.
You think as I do.
Like that. Even that didn't actually do it. And I just lost a Dragoon for my efforts.
Transmitted. Initiating. Commencing. Confirmed. Sarah.
I know some people who slow mode through this mission so slow that this mission by itself takes like a freaking hour.
Confirmed.
This would have been a perfect mission to actually give us a bit of terrain knowledge, so we can kind of pick our route and decide what we want to fight against with such an extremely small, non-replaceable force. But hang on. There's one other thing that's terrible about the Templar. It's my niece! Whoa, shoot! Whoa, shoot! So it's dinner time. And this mission can take a very long time. But I wanted to show off one other thing really quick.
Shall be done.
It's okay, so there's a sunken in my way, but don't worry, we got this.
My path is set.
So not only does the storm not affect buildings, but it's in the range of the sunken. Just to really emphasize how much I hate the frickin' Sonic Storm in this game, Blizzard, back in Warcraft 2, affected frickin' buildings. And Blizzard had its own problems back then. Yeah, High Templars suck. I really hate High Templars. So, we'll go ahead and grab a save, but we might be restarting the mission again tomorrow.